It's see how it's kind of like fluffy, fluffy.
Oh my goodness, the music is playing and Shakespeare is swaying. You know what I'm saying. It is time for another Shakespeare's Coffee Break. I hope you have had an amazing week so far. And you are ready to have your cuppa and your conversation. Let's have a nice noisy slurp right now. That is some good internet audio. That is all I'm saying. People, we have an amazing show today. I have not one, but two other writers on here. I mean, I'm going to throw them on screen for just a moment, but we have Nell Benjamin and Laurence O'Keefe. Oh my God, and they have coffee and water. What is happening? They are prepared with drinks. No one's ever prepared with drinks, but they are. Because they've been around the block a couple of times. They know how to play this game. So, friends, we are going to have an amazing and glorious time here today. So, I love you, you love me. There is mutual glorious affection. Susan Hill, thank you so much for calling me a genius poet. You're amazing. But let's start some conversation right now and bring in my brand new best friends and yours too. Nell Benjamin and Laurence O'Keefe.
Hello!
Oh my God, Muppet Arms! Hooray! Oh, and how are the two of you doing?
Cheers, sir. We're doing very well. Thank you.
And this is our wallpaper.
Oh, I love it. It is amazing and beautiful and a little bit 1960s hideous. So that is...
It's actually my mother-in-law's wallpaper.
It is wonderful is what I meant to say. It is 1960s glorious.
It's really kind of a murder house here.
All right. Have you gone down the hallway and there's just creepy twins standing there? Has that happened to you?
No.
We realize the creepy twins are us.
We are.
Oh.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Well, that's a really weird way to think of your relationship, but you do you. Oh, goodness gracious. So we have Nell Benjamin and Laurence O'Keefe on here. And by the way, the love is already starting. Susan Hill, friend of the show, is already writing in her comments saying she loves Legally Blonde. Oh, my God.
You just made us $1. Thank you.
Every time we say it or every time we say we love it?
Yeah, that's right.
That's a better contract than I thought we had at MTI.
All right. Well, let's just say it again. Get you another $1. All right. All right. But so real quick, I have to ask, how did the two of you meet each other?
Oh.
Quite appropriately, we met at an audition for an improv comedy group at college. It was freshman week, and they make you audition in pairs. So they threw us together on stage and they said, Nell, you are Jane Goodall, the famous primatologist and studier, I guess, researcher studying chimpanzees and stuff. And Larry, you are a gorilla. So once you get the nits and the fleas out of each other's fur.
Yeah, the small talk is much easier after
the ice
that.
is broken.
Yeah,
and
you're not really worried about how you're going to come off at that point.
Yeah.
So, yes. Yeah. And I even managed to yes and my way not to say Jane Goodall didn't study gorillas. Yes. You're thinking of Diane Fossey.
That's right.
Which would have gotten me kicked out of there. I actually,
she got in.
No, I got called back that time. I didn't get in that time. I didn't get in until 2 years later.
So eventually you got in.
Yeah, this is true.
I didn't get into my first improv troupe that I auditioned for either. So this is you're amongst friends right now.
Right. It's tough to put it all out there and then be like, oh wow, I didn't get in. But to come back is a good thing.
It's also another thing to just get up on stage and realize, wow, I am in this moment very not funny. It they say that grief has 5 stages. That has about 20.
Yeah.
Of realizing and accepting how funny. Yeah.
There must be a German word for that, for realizing suddenly you're dying on stage.
Selbst haben ausgestunden Schaden self-enkillen.
Yeah, Schaden's got to be in there.
Yeah.
So the Schadenfreude, people taking pleasure in your pain, that sudden moment when you realize that you are not funny. It's almost like a Far Side comic where the fear that somehow, somewhere, a duck is watching you.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness gracious.
The duck's not laughing. He's not laughing.
No, he's not. No, he's just staring and judging because he's a judgy duck.
Yeah.
That's a good name for a production company.
Judgy Duck Productions.
Very good.
Oh my goodness. All right. Who wants it? You or me? You or me? You or me?
No, I already. You can have it.
Oh, I can have it. Yes. Yes. All right. It's mine. Copyright me. Judgy Duck Productions. Hashtag Judgy Duck. All right. All right. We're making this a thing.
Okay.
Judgy Duck
With the domain.
Productions. If I hashtag it, that makes it automatically mine. I think that's like the actual legal terminology of what happens, right? There we go. Hashtag Judgy Duck Productions. It's all mine. All right. There we go. No, this show is not about you, Kat. I'm talking to my friends.
Oh.
He likes to yell at me.
Aww.
Are you coming in? Or are you just going to stand in the doorway where I can't quite get you? We are getting a rare treat here on Shakespeare's Coffee Break. Are you coming on? Yes. Milo, the fluffy kitten, is coming on right now. Yes, say hello to Broadway legends.
Nice. Hi.
Hi. Say hi, Milo. He's like, no, put me down.
No, unimpressed. Don't like musicals. More straight plays.
Oh goodness. All right. So I think one reason that we all love musicals though, and like for me, and also compare it to Shakespeare in terms of my love, is because in Shakespeare we give the soliloquy. Yes. When you can no longer adequately express your thoughts to another character on stage. You have to talk to the audience directly. And so in musicals, we break into song because it is the next feeling of our hearts. So let's discuss.
All right.
Well, yeah. So what is it?
Wait, your shows have to have feelings?
It's helpful. I mean, if you try doing a musical about being a sociopath, I mean, it would all be just one note.
We've done
I think we've done one.
We have those in our past.
I mean, yeah, the Sweeney Todd, but come on.
Heather's certainly.
Yeah.
Heather's got a whole like song for the sociopath.
Has some sociopathy. It's true. Well, I mean, to write musicals at all, it's a little sociopathic anyway, because for a while there, when we were very young and just starting out, everyone said, "Why are you working in the most dead of all the art forms?" And then shows like The Producers came out. You know, in 2001, The Producers came out, and like The Full Monty, and then Hairspray, and suddenly people said, "Oh, this could make money. This isn't a dead art form at all." And then the internet came out, and people in Keokuk, Iowa, and Reno, Nevada, could talk to each other and realize, "Oh, okay, I'm the only theater nerd in my town, but there are other theater nerds out there, and now we can talk using the internet." So yeah, it's an art form again. It doesn't make it any less sociopathic. Makes it more remunerative. Yeah. I guess.
Absolutely. So how though do you think that writing musical theater is sociopathic though? I mean, like, do you have to have a certain detachment from reality? I mean, like, what are your thoughts?
Let's see. I think just the process of dissecting other people's emotions sort of gives you a certain remove. And I think with musicals too, it's an already very preachy genre that's like everybody talk about how we're going to live together as a community, in a community. So it can get very hyper emotional, hyper quickly. It can get very navel gazy very quickly. So I feel like there's sometimes a great advantage to remembering that most of life doesn't care about your emotions and life goes on through them, sometimes like a freight train. We always joke that like you are never allowed in life to stand up in a room full of people and just sing about your bad feelings at that point in time or how you might be in love with this person. That, the scene that you might see in a musical of two people at a table and they're trying to declare their love to each other, they will invariably be interrupted by the waiter. They will invariably be interrupted by the check. Like they simply will not have the freedom to express themselves. And that makes it more fun. Like taking people's emotions, trampling on them like life does, and then seeing what comes out.
We like to shove the waiter into our songs.
We always put the waiter in our songs.
We have literally sometimes had the waiter.
we did have the waiter in Legally Blonde, so yeah, that's I don't know if you have to be mentally unbalanced to work in musical theater, but it probably helps.
It might be the reason why musicals can be so satisfying when they're done right is because they're such one-stop shopping. Nell likes to say that musicals are a Frankenstein's monster between two very different and opposing and incompatible art forms. One is hey, everybody, let's get up and dance and celebrate that we're all one tribe. And the other is sit down and shut up and hear an important story. It's good for you. So like the best musicals have both. And I think, well, Les Mis doesn't have a lot of dancing, but it has, it's marching.
It's got a lot of marching.
It's got a lot of marching.
And the big flag.
And the flag. So yeah, we try to do musicals that are a little bit like finger waggy and also have a lot of, I think that Shakespeare is very much the same.
Absolutely.
I saw the Richard III revival a couple of years ago with Mark Rylance. And it was incredible because there you have a psychopath doing his psychopathic things. And then he dies, and that's good. But still, the stage is littered with bodies, and England is in ashes, and the whole world has to start over again. But then he stands up, and everyone stands up, and they all do this sort of like this.
They did the little court dance.
Court dance.
Yeah.
And it was so amazing because you had this live music and candles, and everybody, even the dead bodies, got up and were doing this court dance as a kind of the curtain call. And I felt like I was taking part in something that was 100,000 years old. Like we've left the story world and we're going to reintegrate back into the world of, our own lives. And we do it with this dance. And that's this amazing thing. And I think Shakespeare does it best. I think that, well, you do it best.
Thank you. I will accept that. I do it best.
Well, yeah.
Thank you.
I don't know. That wonderful mix where you have like an incredibly tragic scene, incredibly comic scene, all at, one right after the other.
Yeah.
Or a tragic scene and one mixed together. We saw a wonderful Romeo and Juliet with the scene where they believe Juliet to be dead and her parents are mourning her, and then Paris comes in, and it was played just for laughs. Just that like everybody was over the top. They had been so, basically abusive to her in the previous scene that their grief was almost just over the and because we are unfortunate enough to know how it ends, it was that much more affecting. We're just like, no, she's not dead. Oh my God. How many times are we gonna have to go through this? Why do I keep watching this?
Because we are all a little bit sadistic towards it. We're like, no, we need that pain.
I had a great teacher saying that the drama is, in general, and certainly specifically for Shakespeare, is the art of witnessing and feeling what suffering would be like without having the actual suffering. So
and if that's not
training.
sociopathy, I don't know what is.
It's true. But I mean, you watch King Lear and you go, oh, and you're taking notes inside your soul. You're like, oh, okay, yeah.
Don't have children.
Don't have children, or
that's the lesson,
don't
right?
be mean to your daughters because then they will fuck you over when you're old. And like it's instruction. It's good.
Our daughter just said, "What are you saying?"
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. He didn't say anything bad. You're good. You're good.
But like it's rehearsal behavior. Your cat is a great illustration. In anthropology class, I learned about the phenomenon of the cat sitting on the windowsill watching a bird. So there's a cat on the windowsill, and you're gonna go talk to our daughter. So there's a cat on the windowsill inside, and outside the window, separated by this pane of glass, is a bird, and the cat makes that noise, which is like that chattering noise. And you think, oh, that's so cute. That's not cute. That's the cat rehearsing what it feels like to saw through that bird's spine with its teeth.
Yeah.
Well, my point is, like all human art is probably a descendant of what in anthropology and in biology is called rehearsal behavior. Lots of animals do what amounts to like a rehearsal for their normal behaviors. So that cat is literally rehearsing. Okay, when I get that bird, I'll saw through its spine, and that's probably where we get musical art from. Theater? That's probably where we get performance, and it's definitely where we get musical theater. From. Yeah. So signs with our teeth.
So on that, the rehearsal behavior then would rehearsing and performing and also viewing very violent or very nasty behavior on stage. Is that catharsis for us? Of we get it out of our systems that way, or does it kind of inure us to seeing that behavior in life?
I don't know if it inures us. I don't know if it makes us callous. If it's done right, it will remind us to be alive. It will remind us to be empathetic. And when it happens to us, hopefully we'll remember, oh yeah, I saw this in King Lear. I remember that King Lear handled it very badly. I will handle it better.
I think, yeah, if it has stakes and you sort of are sympathetic to the characters, then yes, if hopefully even a really dark and violent and bloody crazy piece makes you think like, oh, that's not the way to live.
Now, I'm sure there are people watching Sweeney Todd who watch that chair and watch the thing, and he's like, oh, cool.
Like, all right, cool. Also, I need pie. Like, when you're watching Sweeney Todd, do you want to sing? Do you want to commit murder? Or do you just really feel hungry? I mean,
I could eat.
Why? I could eat, yeah. Let's go. Let's go to a pie shop. Well, let's go to the pie shop in just a minute. But first, I'm going to have to pay some bills. So we'll be back with Nell Benjamin and Laurence O'Keefe, amazing Broadway writers, in just a few moments. But as I said, I got to pay some bills because, friends, today's Shakespeare's Coffee Break is brought to you by the wonderful people at Hill Storage Company, Hill Storage and Rigging Company in Middletown, Pennsylvania. No job too large or too small. Enjoy the peace of mind that comes from knowing your equipment is in skilled and experienced hands with services from our machine movers and erectors in Middletown, PA. Established in 1967, Hill Storage and Rigging Company is a family-owned and operated full-service millwright serving industries in the Mid-Atlantic states and beyond. We are a women-owned small business with hours of operation Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Available Saturdays and Sundays by appointment only. Hill Storage and Rigging Company can be reached at 717-944-7676. That number again, 717-944-7676. And visit them at hillrigging.com. Hill Storage and Rigging Company, no job too large or too small. And thank you, Hill Rigging, for being our sponsor here on this show. Now, if you would also like to become the sponsor here on Shakespeare's Coffee Break, you can. Just drop me an email, shakespeare@shakespeareapproves.com. Go also send me a message here to the show, facebook.com/Shakespeare's Coffee Break. And also, while you're at it, just go like me in all the places. That's the main page, Shakespeare Approves. And you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, just all the things. I am very needy. Social media is how I judge my self-worth in life. I mean, isn't it for all of us, though? I mean, you know it is. I know it is. So do that. And I like money. Send me your money. Do it. Do it now. But that being said, let's come back into our conversation. Not pre-recorded. It is happening now, live as I speak to you, with Nell Benjamin and Laurence O'Keefe. Or maybe it's just Nell Benjamin. Oh my God. I should see if I can strike through his name on the title card there.
But he's coming back. Sorry, our 7-year-old is very interested in this conversation and has found 3 ways we were unaware of to get into this room. So.
Oh, goodness gracious! All right. Is she also just watching it on the TV right now, on the telly or on a computer? She could stream it.
No, it's all about the live experience.
All right, yeah.
Literally breaking into the room. We're like, oh my God, we didn't even know she knew about that door.
How many doors does one room need?
Oh, it's a murder house.
It's a farce. It's either murder or farcical comedy. And
yes. Oh yes, no, I love a good farce. So,
all right, let's write a new farce right now where it's noises off, but everybody dies.
Nice. Isn't that life, basically?
Noise off and then everybody dies? Yeah.
I love it. So you had mentioned I'm talking about, this is now once again a viable career move, musical theater. The producers was the first thing you mentioned. Is that specifically, not sure specifically, an adaptation of a pre-existing property, film in this case, why you do things such as Mean Girls and Legally Blonde and Heathers?
The producers was the template for all of the Broadway money and producers to do it. And then that sort of convinced them, oh yes, movie adaptations is what we'll do. It didn't make us fall in love with movie adaptations.
And it had been happening long before. I mean, there are probably far more adaptations that became musicals than original ideas that became musicals.
Yeah, true.
But there is.
We went where the money is. We got,
Oh, show business. Follow the money.
we have a Broadway career because a guy needed a writing team to adapt the property he had optioned, which was Legally Blonde, which was a good movie and a good idea for a Broadway show. And we still congratulate them on their excellent taste in hiring us.
and it's really fun. It's one of not just one of my actual favorite shows, and that's not me blowing smoke. I'm just like, I love that show, but it is a show I in perpetuity see at high schools all over the country. They're like, yes, I want this show.
Which we're very happy about, you know, because
you're visiting a lot of high schools, are you?
Yeah, you know, I like to go in and make sure that my books are all on the shelves in the ill-used libraries.
Legit.
Yeah, just be like, it's like, all right, cool. Oh, is this a dog-eared copy of King Lear? No, it's never actually been cracked open. And so I'll just stand there and I'll flip it around, make it feel loved, and then put it back.
Yeah. Henry VI, just to remind everybody.
Oh, yeah. Henry
from the shelf, so people notice it. Yeah.
Henry VI, part 1, 2, or 3. I mean, and entirely written out of order, too. That's the fun part. Yeah, Henry VI, part 1 was the last one written. It's just like, so it's a prequel.
Yeah. I worked for Star Wars. No, it didn't.
I feel, to one extent, I feel bad for George Lucas on that, because he was really trying to say something with the prequel movies that, like the original trilogy, let's have fun, and then the prequels, let's tell a story and say something, and people are like, we are not here for this.
Well, I think
he really cared about disputes over trade routes
and democracy and all of that, and
but it's sort of you, and I think. And I speak as someone who does shows where people regularly dance and sing in like law school, where they would not do that.
Don't you? Are you telling me that is not the standard experience?
Not a standard experience. I mean, it's getting there now, but yeah, there's sort of that underlying logic that you need to make your flight of fancy and your point. You can't lecture people if you won't even keep basic logic in mind. So it was just, it was very hard for me watching a pod race where the afterburners were in the front of the car. And it's like, they're called afterburners for a reason.
Okay.
Like it's problematic.
However, devil's advocate.
Okay.
How doctrinaire can you be about,
Cars.
How much can you critique the prequels when you're basing this entire conversation on your love of the first 3 movies, in which, let's remind you, Luke Skywalker knows Obi-Wan for a day and a half.
Yes.
Before he dies. That's it.
Yeah,
he meets him, he gets on a ship, and then the guy gets Darth Vader to death, and he cries, and oh my God, this is my mentor who changed my life. He's known him for 36 hours.
But it's been 36 life-changing hours. Like when people bond like
with
that.
some alien.
It's the hero's journey. It's the whole Campbell narrative. It's the whole Campbell of it all, where it's just like, all right, we're going to ignore reality to an extent.
But I mean, that's my point. Like, if you're gonna be okay with the 36-hour life-changing mentor dude,
I'm gonna be okay with that.
Are you really also going to quibble, conversely, with the afterburners in front of the pot?
If I'm willing to accept that we're in a world where sword play is a viable option in a fight with blasters, then I think I can go with the 36 hours?
Yes.
What is it? 36 hours.
And yet you're bothered by the
I'm still
afterburners.
bothered by the afterburners.
And as you points out, Princess Leia lost her entire damn planet, and somehow she's fine with that.
Yeah.
I'm not fine with it. She just soldiers on. Keep calm.
Leia is the strongest person in all of the films. I mean, like, that's really to be argued.
Yeah.
Like her planet, which also includes her parents, gets blown up, and she goes on to lead the rebellion.
Yeah. And everyone knows who she is, and they never catch her.
No.
It's never like they literally caught her once.
Space is big.
A space is big.
It's infinite in all directions. I mean, that's what I've been told. Until you actually see the space battles and they're all just coming at each other like this. Like, it's like, why isn't anybody coming up this way?
Yeah. Oh, the animation, yeah. Getting those Star Destroyers to turn. They don't turn well.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, they don't.
You know, they probably take a while, right?
Yeah.
But there's no resistance at the same time.
I would love to see the script that they originally had for the ninth movie for the Rise of Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
They would have done if
Carrie Fisher,
because what they cobbled together was closer to I don't know what Shakespeare had, Timon of Athens. It was not.
Do not bring Timon of Athens into this, please.
Well, I mean, what is the entire thing is like, oh yeah, so Palpatine's alive, spoilers, and he has an entire enormous fleet that's completely hidden in a swamp.
Yep. Well,
So-
under the ice, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and those Star Destroyers, you know, in theory, have their own cafeterias, and
Mhm.
their own rec rooms, but they're all in the swamp.
Ping pong.
So, how do you get someone to live and work in a submerged ship that is not a submarine?
Simple. You offer them good pay.
Yeah. Benefit.
Or you threaten their family.
That's true.
Yeah, true.
That's true.
Like, you're gonna join or your dad dies. Oh.
Get in that swamp. Get in the swamp.
Yeah.
All right.
So
No more. Get in the
Wayne Stafford has a question for you too. He says, any new projects in the works?
Yes. Several new projects in the works.
Well, we are pitching movie things to movie people, and it's
Musical
movie things to movie people. And some of them speak the musical language. Some of them we're educating, or they're educating us. And my favorite is we get to do it in our shorts. We don't have to do what we used to do, which is get in a plane, fly to Los Angeles, check into a hotel, bring nice clothes, get dressed up, go into a production meeting in a conference room in which people tell us what we're doing wrong with our script. And then go home, get on a plane, go home. In other words, so much of that has been cut out. All we do is like Zoom, and they're like, okay, here's what's wrong. We're like, oh, okay, fine. It saves so much time.
It's kind of delightful.
Yeah, it's great.
Like, I'm in sweats right now. So like this is my favorite thing. Like I for all the shows, virtually all the shows, I get just waist up, and it's grand. I love it.
Yeah.
We are wearing pants. For you, a mark of respect. Pants.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. You hear that, internet? I warrant you wearing pants. That's right. Wear your pants. I don't care if you're wearing shoes. I really don't care. But wear your pants. Exactly. All right. Yeah.
What other things are we doing?
Let's see. We've got
animated.
We definitely have. People are still working on musicals, even though we're not sure when live theater will resume. Mm-hmm. So there's definitely 2 movies into musicals that I was working on before the pandemic hit that I am now continuing to work on. And let's see what else. Well, you've got. We both know. Are we not allowed to?
I don't know. Well, you know, Heather's was going to be doing a UK and Ireland tour. But now it was going to be in rehearsal, and Legally Blonde was going to get a UK tour at the same time. So we were going to have 2 nice shows, generating money this summer, and that won't be happening. But apparently we have a cast, and apparently our cast is saying we'll wait. And
that's fantastic.
It does seem like English theater will come back a little sooner than American. That's certainly happening, but hopefully there are other plans for Heather's, which I am not at liberty to discuss.
Yeah. No, I understand, because it's not allowed to talk about things, and because, you know, but you got to touch wood and pray the creek don't rise. Yeah. Quick thing from my father-in-law. He says, the babies are wondering why I'm not talking back. Hello, Lucy and Charlotte. Hello. Shakespeare loves you. I love you. Hello, Lucy and Charlotte. This is Larry and Nell.
We're your real parents.
Don't tell your mom and dad that. Don't tell your mom and dad that, Lucy and Charlotte. Oh my God. Or tell your mom and dad that and just see what happens. They're like, Mom and Dad. They're 3.5.
Mom and Dad. Larry said he and Nell are our parents. Please discuss.
I mean, that would be amazing. And I would love to be, I will see them on Friday, and that will be an amazing conversation.
Let us know.
Oh, yeah.
Let us know.
Oh, that's going to be amazing. Oh, my goodness. Nell Benjamin and Laurence O'Keefe, creators of amazing shows, one of which was the biggest hit amongst my theatre community when I was in college in the late 90s, early 2000s. That was Bat Boy. So we were obsessed with it.
Well, you should be.
Well, it's better now. We've made it better. We've done rewrites and workshops, and hopefully in a new world where theater returns, we might get to do the new draft.
Oh, a new Bat Boy. Oh, my God.
Yeah. One with a fewer really crappy songs. There's, I really think that to work on Bat Boy is kind of like being in an abusive relationship. There's highs and lows. All the bad songs are gone, replaced hopefully with better ones. So.
Musicals, as usual, they are never done. They just open, and then when you get a chance to take them back and work on them more, you do.
Right.
So
yeah,
why not?
And that's how I do all of my Ren Fair shows, which you have been to. So it's always and forever for me a work in progress.
Yeah.
It's like what you see is just the version I'm happy enough with you seeing at the moment.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Well, after we opened, Mean Girls have been running on Broadway, and we rewrote a great deal for the tour. And we sent the tour out, and then wanted to put the tour version, which we now liked better, into Broadway. And they did it 3 times before quarantine necessitated the closing. They were a lot.
They were really good, those 3 performances.
They were 3 great performances.
That's amazing.
We'll see when we get back.
Similar story when Spamalot was in previews. So what was that, 2002, I want to say?
4 or 5.
So when going back many years, when Spamalot was in previews, Tim Curry, dressed in full Arthur regalia, came out the night I watched it. I assume he did it every night, and started doing a curtain speech. He says, "All right, you will notice that there is no." I'm sorry. Let's be more Tim Curry. You'll notice there is no song list in the program because we're not officially open yet. However, we spent $27 million on this show. I gave up smoking so I could go up an octave. I will be damned if I... And then he's starts going on a tirade. And David Hyde Pierce, wearing a 3-piece suit, looking very Niles, comes out. He goes, Tim. And then Hank Azaria coming out, half in Lancelot, but also wearing tidy whities, comes out. Just no, let's get you off. So I'm like, this is the single best stop to a show ever. If they ever stop this, that is a tragedy.
Amazing.
And so I never actually saw it officially once it was open on Broadway, but I saw the preview ticket price, which was a lot less. Yeah, but oh my God, was that an amazing thing? But I will be damned if I learn new music. I'm just like, all right. Just like, okay.
It really is. Those rewrites are so hard on the cast. Not hard on us. They're very hard on the cast, though. I can remember being in.
Yes. My favorite is when you're putting in a new song that is such a big change. You can't learn it in one day
because you can't put it into the show because it has to be text. They have to relearn it.
So that means, let's say you have a big song called "Love and War," and it's not working, and so the cast is notified. You're going to do that song at night, but in the meantime, in the morning, you're going to learn a new song called "Positive," which is very similar music, sometimes the same lyrics, and you're going to rehearse that, get that in your brains. Yeah. And then I go back to the one that isn't working. Right. Good luck. And that goes on for a week. So, that's why we're not actors.
Yeah.
Oh, I had a similar thing where we were doing an original musical in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania called The Bloody Eighth. And Act 2 wasn't working. Act 1 was freaking brilliant. Act 2 just was not working. And hardly any tickets were sold for the Saturday matinee. And so we canceled the Saturday matinee, and we're in rehearsal from 8 a.m. until about 5 p.m. on the new version of Act 2. Did the old version of Act 2 that night. Sunday morning, came back in at 7 a.m. Ran Act 2 twice more, and then did it for the Sunday matinee.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and we were just like, oh my God. But for that Saturday night show, because we had been rehearsing Act 2 all day, the new one, which was much better.
Right.
Yeah.
People were going up on lines, but doing the new lines.
Yeah.
And the mishmash was almost better than the better new Act 2.
Oh.
So then 2 weeks later, they gave us yet a new Act 2 because the writers were in the audience going, oh my God, that did work better. That did work better. Okay. And so there was Act 2 Mark 3, which was what we had accidentally done that Saturday night.
Yep. Yeah, that feels very familiar to me.
That's
Yeah.
no feeling quite like that.
No, we had something in Mean Girls that had been in the. We had an opening number that we all actually loved in Washington, D.C., but it was not the opening number we took to Broadway because of a note about its function. It's really weird. You can love a number, but there's a reason it can't be done. And we did love it, but we're like, we need more inside our lead who is singing its mind. So we sort of wrote a new one, which we liked just as much, but worked better. But we had lost a bridge from the original that we all still loved, and people were constantly singing it backstage and around like, oh, I miss that. Oh, I miss that. So when we went to the tour, we're like, could we put that bridge back in this song? Even though it's not the song for that bridge, can we do it? And the composer was like, yes, we can. So that's the version that went out on tour and is now coming into Broadway. So it's just,
has that version been recorded for a soundtrack?
It is not on the soundtrack. No, the new bridge you can only hear live.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well, there's a reason to go see it if nothing else, right there. Oh my goodness, this has been such a delight, and I hope that you will come back at some point just to further nerd out on Star Wars and pod races and just everything. It's so wonderful. So Nell Benjamin and Laurence O'Keefe, give them your love. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. And as I'm wrapping up the show here, stick around. I'm going to talk to you right after we close down, but let me wrap things up. So, friends, this has been Shakespeare's Coffee Break. I am your friendly neighborhood Shakespeare, and of course, this has been my coffee break. We're going to have one noisy slurp again, because that is good internet audio. I don't care who you're asking. That's obviously me being a professional. We have more shows coming up, as you know. Tomorrow, we have Talking Trek. Yes, where Brian of the Connecticut Renaissance Fair and I talk about Star Wars and pod races. Now, we're talking about the golden age of Star Trek that we are living in right now, and that is 23 weeks of Star Trek going on right now with Lower Decks, the amazing animated show, and we're going to be talking about that tomorrow at 6. Go to facebook.com/Talking Trek podcast for that. On Friday, right back here at facebook.com/Shakespeare Proves, and on YouTube, we've got Shakespeare's Shameless Self-Promotion Happy Hour, where, you know, we sit around, we talk, we drink, we play stupid games. I ask weird questions like, what's your favorite dinosaur? And why aren't you a dinosaur? I mean, seriously, why aren't you a dinosaur? Why am I not a dinosaur? Because they died out. That's why. Wow, that got weird and angry. Wow. And then on Tuesdays, we have Nat 21 Adventures, the live Dungeons and Dragons show played with many of your favorite Renaissance Fair performers. I will be hosting the show starting with season 3 this Tuesday at 8 p.m. And then, of course, next Wednesday, Shakespeare's The Tempest, a 3-hour tour, the latest production by the Social Distancing Players, which is my theater company that I began when quarantine started. This is our 8th production, if you can believe it, because quarantine just won't end. It won't. It won't. I mean, so here's what we're doing. So you can go and support the Indiegogo for that, and I will throw that into the link into the comments right now. Where to go? There it is. Go to the Indiegogo campaign for that and support the Tempest, a 3-hour tour, our 3-hour tour. So .me/. Oh, I forgot part of it. I need to fix it. To be igg.me/@/Tempest 3-hour tour. I'll fix that in the links in just a minute. So that'll be next Wednesday at 7:05 p.m. starring some of your favorite Renaissance performers and you if you like. Yes, for $10 you can get a backstage pass and hang out with the cast. For $30, a signed copy of the script by me will be sent to you because I wrote the script. And then for $50, you can get a part in the show. And then for $100, get all of that plus an original sonnet just for you. Speaking of sonnets, if you would like to get a sonnet written by me, you can go to buy me a cup of coffee at coffee.com/Shakespeare. That's ko-fi.com/Shakespeare, and buy me a cup of coffee. For $20, I will write you your own original sonnet. And also go become a Patreon of the art at patreon.com/Shakespeare. Friends, this has been Shakespeare's Coffee Break. Thanks once again to my guests, Laurence O'Keefe and Nell Benjamin. Yay! And always remember, I love you, you love me. There is mutual glorious affection. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.